Hello everyone, I'm Thais and today I'm here to do my April book haul. April was my birthday month, so I was gifted a lot of books, but I also bought others and received some as giveaway prizes. So today I have a total of 20 books to show you. First I'm going to start with the books that I got as presents, and the first three I'm going to show you were gifted by my boyfriend. The first one is the Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, Maureen Johnson and Sarah Rees Brennan. This is a collection of 11 short stories about the warlock Magnus Bane, which is the most amazing, sassy and all-time best characters from the Shadowhunter world. If I haven't made that obvious yet, he is my favorite character from Cassandra Clare's books, so I'm really looking forward to reading more stories about him. And I'm actually dying because I can't read this book yet because I haven't finished the Mortal Instruments series. I haven't read the last two books yet and I don't want to get spoiled. So the wait begins. The next book I have to show you is Shudder by Courtney Alameda. This is a horror debut novel about a girl named Micheline who is the last descendant of the Van Helsing line. And all her life, Micheline has been destroying monsters with the help of three boys, until one day they get infected with a curse and they find out that they have 7 days to get rid of it or they will die. This is one of my most anticipated 2015 releases. I love horror books and I've heard that this book can be pretty scary, so I'm really looking forward to reading it. The next book I have to show you is actually a graphic novel. I've been trying to get more into the graphic novel world this year and I've been pretty much enjoying it so far. So my boyfriend got me Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley. This is also the author who wrote the Scott Pilgrim series. Seconds is about a girl named Katie who is a chef who runs a successful restaurant and she wants to open another one. At first things seem to be going fine until they aren't anymore and Katie's life is not so good. That's when a mysterious girl appears and she gives Katie a chance to be able to change everything in her life. Katie starts changing a lot of things, but soon she'll find out that this kind of changes bring consequences. I've heard a lot of amazing things about this book. People say that it's funny and that the artwork is amazing, so I'm looking forward to reading it. The next book was gifted to me by a friend and that's The Fountains of Paradise by Arthur C. Clarke. I actually don't really know what this book is about except that it's sci-fi. I tried reading the synopsis, but I couldn't really understand it and I didn't know how I could sum it up for you, so I'll leave the Goodreads link down below if you want to check it out. The next book was given to me by the same friend that gave me The Fountains of Paradise, but it wasn't exactly a birthday gift. She had a duplicate of the book and she gave me her extra copy. That's Reboot by Amy Tintera. This takes place in a world where there are reboots, people who have died and then came back with enhanced abilities and a lot less humanity. The main character, Ren, is one of the best reboots there are. She's like the perfect soldier until she meets a guy named Callum, who's a reboot newbie. He starts making her see things in a different way and she starts questioning whether or not she wants to keep following orders. This is also a duology that I've heard a lot of great things about. I can't wait to read it. The next book I got is How to Train Your Viking by Cressida Cowell. This is an extra book in the How to Train Your Dragon series that follows a young Viking named Hiccup and his dragon Toothless in a lot of different adventures. While in the series we usually see Hiccup's point of view, this little book is about Toothless. Now I'm not really sure where this falls in the timeline of the series, because I've checked Goodreads and it says that it's book 1.5, but here in Brazil it was released as book 7.5, so I guess I'll just have to read it to find out. I also got some money for my birthday and because I have no self-control, I ended up buying a book with it, and it was Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. This is the third book in the Anne and the French Kiss companion trilogy. It follows Isla, a shy girl who goes to the School of America in Paris, and she's had a never-ending crush on Josh, the same Josh that we meet in Anne and the French Kiss. This book follows their romance and how they get closer and how they face the difficulties that every young couple has to face. Stephanie Perkins is one of my most loved contemporary authors and I've actually already read this book. I'll talk more about it on my wrap-up, but I can tell you that it was just as fun and cute as the rest of the trilogy. These were all the books that I got for my birthday, but I also had accumulated a few Amazon gift cards that I won in giveaways. and I decided to spend them all at once, so I got 4 books. The first one is a graphic novel. It is Lost at Sea by Brian Lee O'Malley, the same author of Seconds. I got the 10th anniversary edition because it is this beautiful hardcover, and it also has a different color scheme than the paperback version, and it has some extra stories at the end of the book. This graphic novel follows a girl named Rayleigh who's stuck in a road trip with 3 of her classmates. And that might seem normal, but we don't know how or why she got there. And then there's the fact that Rayleigh is kind of a very shy girl, and she believes that her soul has been stolen by a cat. The next book I got is one that I've seen on BookTube and on Instagram a lot. It is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I don't really know what this book is about, but I know that everyone who's read it has loved it, and they say that it's heartbreaking and that they cried a lot, so I guess it's safe to say that I'll be reduced to a sobbing mess when I finish this, but I'm prepared for the feels. The third book that I got is The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. This book takes place in a town named Fairfold, where fae and humans coexist. In the middle of the woods in this town, there's a glass coffin where a boy with horns has been sleeping for generations, until he awakens and chaos ensues. I've never read a full-length novel by Holly Black, so I'm really excited to read it. I've only read her short story collection, The Poison Eaters, but I really loved it, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. And let's just take a minute to look at this gorgeous cover. This is one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen, and the book also has deckled edges, so it's beautiful. The last book that I got from Amazon was Possessed by Gretchen McNeil. This is a horror novel about a girl named Bridget who finds out that she can hear the voices of demons and that she has the power to send them back to hell. As you can probably guess from my haul, I really like supernatural stories, horror stories, so I'm really looking forward to this one, as I have said for every book in this haul. Now I'm going to move on to the books that I've traded, and the first one is Kisses from Hell. This is a collection of short stories written by 5 different authors. It's part of kind of like a series called Short Stories from Hell. And in this one we see love stories between vampires written by authors like Kelly Armstrong and Richelle Mead. I also traded Prom Nights from Hell, which is from the same collection. In this book, as the name says, we see stories about prom nights that have gone wrong because of paranormal happenings, and it features authors such as Meg Cabot and Stephanie Meyer. The next book that I have to show you is The Maze Runner Files by James Dashner. This is an extra book in the Maze Runner series, which contains confidential records and information about the world of the series. And unlike most people, I really enjoyed all 3 books in the original trilogy, so I'm really looking forward to getting to know more about Wicked and the characters. Now I'm moving on to the books that I won in giveaways. The first one was Dear John by Nicholas Sparks. And I don't really know a thing about this book except for the obvious, that it's a romance. I'm not really a fan of Sparks books, so I'll probably just get rid of it because my TBR pile is just huge and I can't add books that I don't really feel like reading to it. The same goes for the next book, O Professor e Fabricante de Para-Raios by José Antônio Garbino. It's a Brazilian author, obviously. From what I could gather from the synopsis, it's kind of like a collection of essays about politics, economy, life in general, and it's just not my thing. Next is Dogs of Rome by Conor Fitzgerald, and this is a thriller novel that takes place in Italy, and it mixes an investigation of murder with organized crime and politics, so it sounds very, very interesting. The next book that I have to show you is Once by Anna Carey. This is the second book in the Eve trilogy. I don't really have the first book yet, so I haven't even read the synopsis for this one, but what I can tell you about the trilogy is that it takes place in a world where most of Earth's population has been wiped out by a virus. And we follow Eve, a girl who has lived all her life inside the walls of her school, along with other orphaned girls, and they've been promised a future as artists and teachers, but then Eve discovers that the school's purpose is a lot different from what they told her, and she finds herself having to run away into a world that she's never known. I haven't really heard much about this trilogy. If you've read it, please let me know what you thought. I'm really excited to finally get the first book to be able to read it. The next book that I want is The Immortal Rules by Julie Kagawa. This is the first book in the Blood of Eden trilogy. It takes place in a world where vampires exist, and we follow Allison, who is a girl who hates vampires until she is turned into one of them. I don't know much past that, but I've been wanting to read Julie Kagawa's books for quite some time. I hear amazing things about her, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. Finally, the last book in this haul is The Falconer by Elizabeth May. This is the first book in the Falconer trilogy. I think it's going to be a trilogy, there's only this book out so far. This book takes place in Scotland in 1844, and we follow Lady Eliana Cameron, whose mother was killed by a fairy. And ever since then, she has been living two lives, one by day, where she's part of the high society, and one by night, where she sets out to hunt and kill fairies. Eliana just sounds like one of those kick-ass female protagonists that I love to read about, so I just can't wait to read this book. That's it guys, those are all the books that I got this month. Please let me know what you got, and I'll see you soon with the next video. Bye!